Okay, you do-it-yourselfers fixing washers and dryers. I don't know if you recognize this, but this is a support rod for a washing machine tub. There's 4 of them, and they keep the basket from going crazy whenever it goes into the spin cycle. So the basket sits on top of this, and it goes up and down in the spin cycle and keeps it from going crazy because of things being out of balance. And so as you can see, I'm moving this pretty easily. Anyhow, there's always been a problem, I guess, with fixing these or replacing them because of them being so simple. People are trying to come up with ways to fix these things. So I've run into this problem, and I've done one washer of mine, and I'm doing the second one, so I'm going to show you what I did. So anyhow, this flat piece, the pinched part at the bottom of the rod here, this needs to be taken off. So all I do is I put it in the vise here, snug it, move the rod back and forth a little bit, and it comes right off. Get rid of it. Okay. Now, next thing you do is take the guts off, which is the spring and the damper and the grease cup. So I usually just give it a little bit of a, like that. Everything comes off. Got the spring. You got the motion grease cup here. And this piece here, which I'm not really sure what it is, what the function is of it. It doesn't do anything as far as the mechanism. So I'm just going to take it off for now. And I am going to reuse it, so I'm going to put it off to the side here. Now, what I do is take the grease cup, take the lid off, use a micro screwdriver is what I've been using. And when you take it apart, you can see that there is a bunch of grease in there, excess. So that's going to come into play. I'll put this lid here. So the cup itself has this foam piece in here and fits down inside the cup to about here, depth wise. And the rod, of course, moves in here like that, and it dampens the motion of the spring. So it sort of acts like a McPherson strut. You have a shock in the middle, which is basically what this sort of is. You got a shock and you have a spring. So it acts like a McPherson strut. So this is supposed to give you resistance on here And as you can see, it moves pretty easily. So there's not much resistance. So the problem is the center of this wears out and doesn't do its job anymore. And what happens is when the washer goes in the spin cycle, it just starts hopping all over the place because it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So here's what I do. Take the rod here, put it in like this so you can see. I'm going to take the lid of the cup, put it on first, which this was on first, but I'm not putting this back on. I'm putting it on underneath the cup. So, then you want to put the dome side up. Like that. The reason I'm doing this is because this is giving some resistance, which is going to help as far as dampening the motion of the spring. Any little bit helps, I guess. And then I'm going to put the cup on the bottom part of this damper. And oh, I got this facing the wrong way here. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Okay, I'm going to put this on back on like this, the way it was. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see what I'm going to do. Okay, so something like this. All right. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Okay. All right, so next thing I do, which is the only thing other than what parts are already here, is I use this stuff. This is plumber's packing string. And for those of you that don't know what this is what the old faucets were sealed with between the stem and the body of the faucet underneath the jam nut to seal up the stem to the faucet so you don't have leaks when you turn it on and off. And you wrapped it around the stem, probably, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, whatever times you think you need of material in there. And then you put the jam nut back on, and the jam nut squishes this stuff down into the faucet and seals it. So they use O-rings now and plastic washers and stuff. So this stuff here is what they used to use. And I still have outside faucets that use this stuff. So frostless ones. So that's why I have it. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I cut these into 1-inch sections about. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just cut them into 1-inch sections. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I use 4 of these. And the idea is I fold it in half like that. I'm going to put it right there. And I take the little screwdriver and I'm going to shove it in between the rod and the foam damper like that. So I shove it in there with like this. But the first thing I do is I put grease on it. So how I do that is I start digging out the grease that's on the lid of the cup like this. And there's plenty of it in there, so you don't need a whole lot. And then I just put it on my finger, off of it. I take the plumber string, the packing string, and I put it on there, and I twist it in the direction that the string is wound. Get it all nice and coated up. Take the screwdriver, stick it like that, and then just ease it in like this. Preferably, if you can get it all the way down to the bottom, that's where it's going to work best. Okay, so there's one. Turn it a quarter turn. Your next piece of string. Get some grease. Twist it in the way it's wound. Lay it on there. I'm going to move these down because they're getting in the way. There. This will work a little better like that. Take it. Shove her in. Another quarter turn. Some more grease. Twist the grease on, get it nice and coated. Lay it up on there like that. in the center as much as you can and shove it in. Like that. Quarter turn again. More grease. Last piece of string. Nice and coated. The reason I'm coating these little pieces of packing string is because this grease actually retards the motion of this cup to give resistance, at the same time lubricating it. But with the grease being thick, it also works as a restrictor. All right. Shove her in, just like that. And that's it. It's in there. You can see how much harder this is to move now. So the packing string is making up for the larger diameter hole in the foam damper. Like that. And then take that, like that, tighten it up. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the grease out of the cup lid, and I'm going to put it in the black portion here. So I scoop this out, and I'm going to put it in here. It's like a little reservoir with the rest of the grease that's here. Well, you can put it on the shaft too, it doesn't matter. Might be a little easier to get it off into the shaft. And I'm going to use a smaller micro screw here, screwdriver. There. Okay, there's also some grease up in these grooves here along the side of the damper. that you can also get out and reuse. Show you a little better what I'm doing here. These grooves here have excess grease in them. All right. Okay, so put that back on. Put this down like that. Now all the grease is inside this little black dome thing that was over top of the lid of this cup. And that's a smaller area, so it's going to hold it better. And just do that. It's not going to clip back in. There's really no need for it. It's just going to sit on top because this goes into a into the groove on the tub, and that's what supports the rod onto the spring here. So now take the spring, put it back on like that. Back this up a little more. Put the black piece back on the bottom like that. And now look at that. Now it's dampening it the way it should be. All right, now just take this off, turn it around. Put this back in the vise. Get it on the end. Get it snug. And then twist. And what you're doing is reforming the pinch on the bottom there. So the washer at the bottom doesn't come off. Like that. Loosen it back up. And as you can see, that is pinched once again. The rod is just a tiny bit shorter, but that doesn't matter. And put that down. And you're back in business. So that's it right there. And then this goes like that. Dampens the tub in the washer. And it works because my other washer is working fine. All right, that's it.